course, we are now at the end of the year, and not only that, we are also on the precipice of a big Mario 40th anniversary next year. But also, we are pretty much at the end of the Nintendo Switch lifecycle, and with Mario & Luigi Brothership just releasing, I think it's safe to say that this will probably be the very last Mario game we get on current Nintendo Switch. I could be wrong, Nintendo is weird right now, and they could come up with some other Mario game, or maybe even another Mario sports game or something before moving on to Switch 2. I hope that's not the case, because the sport games, as you'll see in this video, aren't that great. But hopefully we move on to just Switch 2 Mario games now, because next year is a very big year for the plumber. But before we say goodbye to Nintendo Switch and all the Mario games that have come out to it, I wanted to put a giant ranking on every single Mario game that has come out for Nintendo Switch. Now, of course, every single Mario game will be here, but I was a little confused on whether I should actually include certain character games like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker or even Luigi's Mansion, and I decided to go with them. So I'll be including Captain Toad, Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, and Princess Peach Showtime, but you guys claim that if I added Yoshi, then I'd probably have to add Donkey Kong and even Wario games as well, so I'm just gonna cap it at those, and I'm not going to add Yoshi. That gives us a whopping 26 games to rank, so I will be ranking them based on my opinion and based on some of the public opinion as well, but mostly, you know, it's going to be based on what I think, so please don't kill me in the comments. Real quick before we get started, you guys brought in over 87 brand new subscribers yesterday. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can get even more of that on today's video alone. So stop what you're doing, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario and Nintendo. Without further ado, let's jump into the top 26 Mario games on Nintendo Switch. Coming in at number 26 and starting off the list as the worst Mario game, I had to give it to Mario Strikers Battle League. This game is so underwhelming, and it was probably one of my most frustrating games, I think, on the Nintendo Switch in general. I was so excited to return back to Mario Strikers after playing it on the GameCube and the Wii, and this just didn't feel the same. The camera felt way too zoomed in, there were way too many characters on one field, there weren't enough fields, the character selection was weak, we once again had to wait for updates, and there wasn't a lot to do online or really in the base game either. It just felt like content was missing, and it just didn't feel the same. It felt like they tried to put way too many mechanics and way too many things into a game that definitely didn't need it. It's Mario sports. They don't need to be that in-depth, and they definitely just took it in a direction that I did not like at all, and just a really, really bad direction at that. And for number 25, we really don't even have a game necessarily. This is more of a toy add-on for children for the most part, but I thought it was a really cool concept, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as some of the other games. I still think it's better than Battle League. That's how much I hate that game right now. But yeah, it was pretty cool how you could like make your own course around your house and drive it around. You just had to have a big enough house for this thing. I didn't pick one up, but from the videos I've seen online, it does look pretty cool, I can't lie. Look, I used to love Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. It was one of the coolest things ever for me back then, growing up as a huge Mario and Sonic fan. Seeing them both was really cool, and I got like the first 3 games that ever came out in the series, but then it officially started falling off for me. I don't know, I just got kind of tired of them, and I completely ended up skipping the one on the Switch. So I had to leave it up to the online communities out there to kind of tell me what people thought of this, and yeah, it just wasn't that good of a Mario and Sonic game apparently. A lot of people were underwhelmed by the sports selection and by the gameplay itself. So yeah, I'm going to have to place it pretty low on this list. I had to get around to it eventually, but yeah, just nothing's really driving me to do so. Next up, I have Super Mario Party coming in at number 23. It's pretty funny because this is one of the best-selling games for Nintendo and one of the best-selling Mario Party games, and I think it's just directly related to the fact that it's the only Mario Party game we had on the Switch at the time. Yeah, it was the first Mario Party game for Switch, so why wouldn't it sell really well? But personally, I think a lot of us also agree that it just was not the Mario Party game we were looking for. There were like literally no boards in this game whatsoever, and it was just nothing but mini games and also lots of motion control mini games. It almost felt like a WarioWare game at times, where we were doing lots of motion activities instead of actually just sitting on the couch, going through boards, collecting stars, and playing mini games. Thankfully, Nintendo would later learn from their mistakes, even though this would go on to sell absolutely amazingly for Nintendo. Personally, it's just not that good. My second least favorite Mario sports title would have to be Mario Tennis Aces. I actually grew up playing Mario Tennis on the GameCube a lot, and this game just could not click with me. I mean, no matter what I tried, I could not figure it out. I mean, I've actually went through all the tutorials and tried learning, and still, you know, I admit, maybe it's a skill issue, but I just couldn't figure this game out. And what makes it even worse is that if you're a newcomer you're never going to win a game. I mean, you have to spend multiple hours just learning every inside-out mechanic of this game. It is a very in-depth game, and there's a lot that you need to learn with it. However, I feel like it suffered the most from the content drought. The fact that, once again, we had to wait multiple weeks, I think eventually a full year, to get every character and all the additional content that they would add to this game, even bonus challenges for the single player, which was just bad. Thankfully, there was a single player though, and I feel like this just comes down between which sport I favored more, because they were very similar with how they were structured, whether it be golf or tennis, and fortunately for me, I enjoyed golf more. Number 21, we have Mario Golf Super Rush, and like I said, I'm a little biased. I love playing golf in real life, so this one clicked with me more. I think they're both equally as complicated though. There's a lot of things that you have to learn with Mario Golf Super Rush, but at the same time, you can have, I believe, a little bit more fun with people, because for one, you can play with 4 people and all run around the golf course like you're maniacs and like run each other over, use power-ups. I thought that was really cool, and I just loved, the fact that this game actually did have a lot of characters eventually. Once again, content drought, you had to wait for all this free update stuff, but lots of cool themed courses. There was one even themed after New Donk City. I wish there were more themed courses after the Mario universe, because a lot of the time they just felt like golf courses, but overall, I really did enjoy Mario Golf Super Rush. I still think they could do a lot better though. And hey, at least they did try to have a single player mode like Tennis Aces, but it was kind of boring, and also they tried to have boss battles, which was just weird, but you know what, I appreciate the effort. Next up, we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker at number 20. This is the pretty much same exact game that came out on the Wii U. It just has some additional courses like from Mario Odyssey, but for the most part, it's the same game. I think this game is really good. I think it's a fun, different style of Mario game where you're not jumping and platforming. Instead, you're using puzzle solving. And the fact that they could actually transfer this over to the Switch from the Wii U's gamepad being used actually worked really well, and I was surprised at how well it did work. I still would really love to see a sequel for this game, but I'm glad this game is on the Switch nevertheless. Coming in at number 19, we have the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, coming all the way from the Game Boy Advance. I was actually probably one of the few people out there that played this game as much as I did as a kid on my Game Boy. I loved this game, but in a strange way, it came back to a point where I didn't really care anymore. I feel like the mechanics were kind of outdated, and the 2 new worlds they added felt a lot more fresh and new than the worlds that came back from the original, and I kind of just found myself breezing through this game extremely fast. Yeah, it feels like one of those games that was just like a great game to remember and have from your Game Boy, but it's one of those games that I didn't need to see again on a home modern console. Now, for a lot of you, I know there's people out there that truly love Luigi's Mansion 2, and personally, I'm just not one of those people. I was so huge on the first game, and the third game is now becoming one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time. Spoiler alert for what's going to happen in this video. But at the same time, Luigi's Mansion 2 just missed the cut for me. It kind of changed the whole formula up of the game, with no portrait ghosts and the fact that every single level was based on mission structure, not to mention extremely frustrating collectibles because of that mission structure. I just never was a big fan of this game, and going back and replaying it, I feel pretty much the same way. It's a good experience for what it is, but it's definitely a Luigi's Mansion game that takes a huge step back from the third and even the first game in the series. Mario Party Superstars would finally fix one of the biggest problems Nintendo's been having issues with, and that's their main board games. Thankfully, they just said, forget it, we're just gonna bring back past boards, and you know what? It worked. Not only that, they brought back tons of past mini games as well, which just felt like a big remake of Mario Party, but it worked, and a lot of people actually enjoyed it, myself included. But unfortunately, not a lot of it was new, and that's the biggest issue, is that it lacked new content, and even the boards that it brought back were very small and simplistic boards at that. But still, people were happy that finally Nintendo was listening, and finally on the right path to the best Mario Party game on Switch, but apparently, and clearly, this is not the best Mario Party game on the Switch. As I was making this list, I really didn't expect Princess Peach to be kind of middle of the road almost at number 16, because I felt like this game was good, but definitely made for children, and I still 100% feel this way. I guess you can say that about every Nintendo game, but this one specifically was definitely made with children in mind. But even with that said, I still had an absolute blast playing through this game and finding all the collectibles and seeing all the transformations that Peach had, and even tons of boss battles to fight as well. They actually did a really good job for Princess Peach's first game, and for a game made for children, a grown man like myself at the age of 27, I still definitely enjoyed it. I have another confession to make. Yeah, I haven't even opened up my copy of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on Switch. It's literally still in the wrapper. I just have no reason to. I mean, with Mario Wonder that came out, I'm just like, that's clearly the superior game. Why do I need to go back to this game on the Wii U? Now, on the Wii U, I completely 100% at the game. I got the new Super Luigi U DLC, all that stuff, all the challenges completed. I just had no reason to do it again. You know what I mean? It's the same exact game, and it's a very bland 2D Mario game. They're still fun to be had, and it's fun to play co-op multiplayer with, unless you have friends like me, where it turns into a Smash Brothers game. But at the end of the day, I really do think this is a fun experience, but it's just not the best that a 2D Mario game could be, as we can clearly see later in this video. Coming in at number 14, I have Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, this one was actually hard to place with its sequel as well, because at first, and for a very long time, I thought the first game was way better. I actually remember having a blast with the first game, but for some reason, the sequel kind of felt less exciting to me. I don't think it's due to the fact that the game is not good. I don't think that at all. I think it's just that I got kind of burnt out on all the missions, side quests, and even DLC of the first game. I didn't feel like doing it again for a sequel. I don't know. It just also felt like it came way too soon. But I do think Kingdom Battle is a really good game, but Sparks of Hope is definitely better in my opinion. It now allows you to freely roam areas in order to complete puzzles and challenges, and even freely roam within the battles themselves, where you can like slide into enemies, you can move all around the battlefield. It's definitely more intuitive and actually allows you to be more free with the gameplay and battling, and I actually really enjoyed that. So yeah, I think Sparks of Hope is a little bit better than Kingdom Battle personally. Number 12, I have Mario 3D All-Stars. I mean, come on, having all of Mario's 3D outings on Switch is just so awesome. Anyways, Mario 3D All-Stars is really weird because it's really cool to have these games, but they were so basically brought over. I think people at least wanted them all to like look a lot cleaner, and I actually have all the same resolution and stuff and widescreen and all that, and there was just a lot of issues with the way that they looked, and people thought that the effort was very low for what they put in there, and then they didn't even give us Galaxy 2 for some reason. There was a lot of weird things going on with this collection, but overall, I think as someone who loves Super Mario Sunshine as much as I do and play it like twice a year, every single year, I was so glad to finally be able to have it on the Switch so I could finally put my GameCube away. Also, I know playing Mario Galaxy with a Pro Controller just feels wrong, but it's also huge dubs. Like seriously, it is so much better. Please, we need Galaxy 2 with that same control scheme, because I still have to pull my Wii out for that game. My Wii U, that is. Number 11, I have Paper Mario The Origami King, one of the more underrated games, I believe, on Nintendo Switch. This game may not be like the classic Paper Mario still, but it was dang near close. It still had fun worlds and even characters to talk to and explore, even though they were all basic Mario characters. It was still a fun experience, honestly, and I actually did start to really enjoy the battle system to a point, even though towards the end of the game it got very, very repetitive and we started seeing the same patterns over and over again. But also, I believe this game had some of the best boss battles we've ever seen in the series. Seriously, even for being a bunch of office supplies, they actually came through pretty well. So honestly, I think Paper Mario is still in good hands and in a good direction, and especially with the return of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, I think the series is moving nowhere else but up, and honestly, I still love Origami King to death. Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and I just want to say that, yeah, you only have 22 days to get your own Nintendo Land plushie. We were trying to reach 100 in sales, and we're not close yet, but you know what? You can make it happen right now. Really, it could be a Christmas present for you. It could be a Christmas present for your dog if he wants to chew Nintendo Land for some reason. Get your own Nintendo Land plushie today. You can do so by clicking on the link in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for your support, and yeah. Thank you too, I guess. Not Nintendo Land plushie, but just squeezing its way to the top 10, we have a recent release of Mario and Luigi Brothership. This game is pretty torn based on the people that you talk to, but from my own experience and after just completely 100%ing this 50-hour plus game, I can say this game is amazing. I love this game's story, its characters, its world. Everything about it is just so charming, and the battle system is also just another extreme plus for this game. I don't know how so many people are so down on it, and yes, it's not perfect, but for a Mario & Luigi revival, it does everything that I possibly could have wanted it to. This game is so much fun, and I actually really enjoyed this as one of my favorite RPGs on the console itself. And it's honestly one of my favorite Mario RPGs altogether. But still, that shows you how good Nintendo Switch's RPG game was for Mario, because it still didn't even crack 2 other ones that's on this list. At number 9, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree. Finally, a Mario Party game right to be called a classic in the making. Yes, it finally is taking the series back to what made it great, with some really fun and unique boards, some that maybe aren't as great, but still some really good design boards with lots of mini games. Personally, my biggest complaint with this game is I didn't enjoy most of the mini games all that much, and the side modes kind of felt like filler. Honestly, if there was just more boards and more mini games, I feel like that's all I really needed, but at the same time, I feel like this is the best return to form Mario Party game that we could have ever gotten, and it is definitely my favorite Mario Party game on the entire console. It's just sad that we had to wait 8 years almost for this game to come out. Number 8, we have Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars Remake. I never played the original game. This is, for some reason, a game that I never got to, and I even tried to, I think, a little bit when I was younger, and I just couldn't get to it. But after playing every single, and I mean literally every single other Mario RPG out there, I really wanted to get back to this, and of course coming to Switch as a remake was the perfect time, and I loved it. I love this game. I felt the battling was fun and addictive, all the worlds and characters were wacky, funny, and goofy, and it just felt like one of the first Mario games that didn't feel like a Mario game, if that makes sense, and of course that's probably because it was made by Square Enix, and it just felt so different and weird, like it was in a completely different realm with Mario characters. I love everything about this game. It was charming, and it has an amazing ending to it with tons of fun boss battle encounters and collectibles and things to do, like little side quests and, you know, ways to level up your character. It's really just a special gem that I'm glad it returned. But nothing is going to beat the best RPG of all, and that is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, baby. Getting the remake on Switch was one of the most wild moments for me as a Mario fan in history. I never expected to see this game return, and definitely not in a completely from the ground up remake. And it is a great one with beautiful new music. You can listen to the old music too if you want, but the new music is so good, and the graphics, the way this game looks, it's just like, this is what we want as Paper Mario fans for the future. And hopefully this is why Nintendo did this, finally understanding what we've wanted for so long. And man, to have the Thousand-Year Door back and for it to look this good was just a dream come true. It's still top of the line Mario RPG with an amazing story, amazing characters, partners, awesome boss battles, the music, it's just like, what else could you want from a Mario RPG? Coming in at number 6, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. After nearly a decade of playing new Super Mario Bros. 2D Mario games, we finally broke free of the curse, and we are rewarded with an amazing 2D Mario experience like none other, taking us to the Flower Kingdom and giving us wacky transformations thanks to the Wonder Flower and the Weird Wonder events, and amazing worlds and new characters to talk to even though they feel like Toad clones, being the Poplins. Mario Wonder was the fresh, new, and innovative 2D Mario game that we have needed for so long now. My only real big complaint with this game is just how short it was, and also the fact that the game didn't even really have boss battles outside of a couple of Bowser Jr. fights. Mario Wonder was that wacky, goofy, crazy 2D Mario game that we've been waiting for so long now, and I'm so glad that we officially have it on Nintendo Switch. Now down to the final 5 games on our list. Coming in at number 5, we have Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Mario 3D World was such an amazing game on the Wii U, and I'm so glad to see it back. Of course, being a fun, multiplayer co-op 3D Mario experience unlike no other. Every single level and world is vibrant and colorful and full of unique charm unlike no other, with boss battles and tons of different characters to choose from with their own different slight abilities and tons of post-game content. Mario 3D World truly is one of its best 3D outings to date, even when it's not an open world or a sandbox Mario game. It's a 3D linear, very start to finish Mario game, but it does so in such a great and charming way. Not to mention, Nintendo would add an additional mode to this game called Bowser's Fury, which would give us an open sandbox and almost a mini open world Mario experience that we've never had before. A lot of people think this is just a tech demo and something smaller for what's to come, and a lot of people just straight up say that this is one of their favorite Mario experiences. I know even content creator buddies of mine that claim that this is their favorite Mario game of all time. I can't really say that personally, considering the fact that it does play it pretty safe with the power-ups, and also considering the fact that it's only like 2 hours long. I really would love to see a full game like this, but overall, I really did enjoy my experience with this game and the additional game mode of Bowser's Fury. This was truly a gem of the Nintendo Switch. At number 4, you knew this game was going to be up here, the best-selling Nintendo Switch game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, if you didn't own a Wii U, odds are this game is going to be probably number 1 without a doubt. And a lot of people playing this game today definitely probably didn't have Wii U's, but unfortunately I was one of the few that did, and I obviously had to go back and pretty much play everything all over again that I've already enjoyed on the Wii U. But even with that said, it's such a great Mario Kart game with so much content, especially with all that DLC from the Wii U. It was really just a gem, and especially when Nintendo decided to announce the Booster Pass, giving us 48 returning tracks from past Mario Kart games and even a couple of new ones and tour tracks as well. I mean, come on, what else could you ask for? This game is full of content, and at a great price, you were able to get over 90 different tracks. Like, come on, and even a revamped battle mode that completely fixes the terrible one from Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. This is truly the ultimate Mario Kart experience, and seriously, if you own a Switch and don't own this game, I don't even know how that's possible or even legal at this point. Coming in at number 3, we have Super Mario Maker 2. This game was such an absolutely huge deal, and I feel like a lot of people don't remember how big of a deal this game was. Not just for Mario fans, but for a whole community of both content creators and gamers to make and play tons of stages. I mean, this game would continue to be huge for like 3 to 4 years after its release. Even today, there's still content creators making Mario Maker 2 content. This game is just so full of things to do. I mean, it's an endless 2D Mario game. You could just go online and play tons of levels, even though some are absolutely abysmal and made by little children, but some of them are actually really well crafted. And not only that, but if you don't feel like playing any, you can just make your own stages and let your friends play them or see how many people play them online. There's just something special about Mario Maker, and after being on the Wii U, having a complete sequel to this game, adding a brand new game style, still wish we got one more, that stupid empty space, and also adding tons of new themes and new course parts was awesome. Now, only if we could finally see a 3D Mario Maker in the future. Mario Maker 3D, Nintendo, make it happen. Now, this is the one that I feel like might shock a lot of people and might offend a lot of people for putting it as high as I did. But I will defend this game until I die, until my very last breath, because this game, Luigi's Mansion 3, is so unbelievably good. I am so glad it sold as well as it did, because this game deserves to have its own franchise just automatically locked in at this point. I'm ready for Luigi's Mansion 4 because this game is just perfect. It has the charm. It has the little attention to details in every single room. There's things that you can mess with and things that you can do, and just there's little secrets hidden every single place you look. There's fun ghosts to find. The portrait ghosts are back as boss ghosts this time around. Every single floor has some really cool, unique theme to it, unlike anything that we've ever seen before. There's no mission structure. You have the addition of Gooigi, which works so good, and especially since he can be used in co-op. There is nothing that Nintendo and Next Level Games left out of this game. I mean, there's just so much content, and there you can even play online. There's like mini games and like a scare scraper mode again. There's just so much to this game, and I love Luigi's Mansion 3. It absolutely deserves to be high on this list. You can fight me in the comments. I will defend you, Luigi. But hands down, the best Mario game on Switch for me was Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey was an experience that I don't know if I'll ever have again. I feel like I definitely will. It's Mario. I will. But seriously, this game was just something different. This was right before I actually made my channel back in 2017, and I remember watching the reveal of this in that January Nintendo Switch presentation, and I remember being so shocked by what I was seeing. I couldn't believe this was the next Mario game. Seeing Mario run in a city that looked like New York, seeing him interact with all these different weird creatures and characters, and then seeing that reveal in the summer of 2017 that not only can Mario throw his hat, but he can actually turn into almost every single enemy and object on all of these different worlds. Like, are you kidding me? It's just like so many power-ups in one. It's the perfect way to give Mario tons of power-ups without him having tons of power-ups. It's just Cappy's doing of being able to capture things. It's such a brilliant idea. Most of people's complaints boil down to the fact that some moons are way too easy to get and it's a very quick game and not a lot of people have a reason to revisit the game. I don't feel that way at all. In fact, I always want to go back and replay this game because there's different moons that you can collect one time compared to your next time, and there's different routes you can take. It's just fun to explore these kingdoms and have this kind of open sandbox area to explore in every kingdom. It's just such a fun game to me with all the different costumes. Also, the Luigi's balloon world, hiding the balloons in different locations and stuff, except for people finding exploits. But even having online leaderboards for certain mini games, man, I feel like my only complaint is the fact that this game didn't have DLC, like true Kingdom DLC. After all of that hype of potentially getting Isle Delfino, and that never came. Man, this game is just so good though. Everything about Mario Odyssey just makes me so excited to be a Mario fan, and that's why I had to choose it as my number one, because it's the one Mario game that truly brings me extreme joy and goosebumps even when I think back to that first reveal trailer. Super Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game on Nintendo Switch, and that is truthfully what I believe with my whole heart. But that is all 26 Mario games on Nintendo Switch ranked. Let me know in the comments down below if you agreed or if you disagree with this list. And if you disagree, let me know why. What Mario game was your favorite and what Mario game was your least favorite? Or even if you feel like it, go ahead and give me a little list down below. I'll make sure I'll check out some of your guys' comments. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It took a while to make, so definitely show some support. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.